there! Wanted to show you a story about Hanukkah. It's called A Hanukkah with Mazel by Joel Edward Stein and illustrated, meaning the person who drew it, by Elisa Valvori. All right, let's read this book. Ah, look, he's got a kitty cat. In the morning, when Misha came to milk Clara, he saw the cat huddled in the corner of the stall, so weak she could hardly walk. My, what have we here? Misha said to the cat. Where did you come from? The cat looked up at him with her emerald green eyes. She seemed to sense that Misha was a kind man. You're so thin, Misha said in a soothing voice. Poor old Clara doesn't have much milk to give, but we can share. Misha took the cat back to his cottage and gave her a dish of milk. She weakly lapped it up and purred gratefully. It's a good thing you wandered in here, Misha said. I don't think you would have survived the cold night outside. The cat curled up on a blanket that Misha set down near the fireplace. Now, get some rest and you'll feel better soon, Misha said to the cat. I think I'll call you Mazel. You certainly a very lucky cat to have wandered out of the cold and into my barn. Oh, look, Mazel's so happy. In the afternoon, Misha brought Mazel another dish of milk. My cupboard is almost empty, said Misha. But tonight is the first night of Hanukkah and I am making latkes. We will celebrate together. He went to his pantry where he found 2 potatoes and enough oil to fry the latkes. I'll grate the potatoes the way my grandmother taught me, Misha said to Mazel. We'll add a little oil to the pan, a little salt, a little pepper, and we'll have our Hanukkah latkes. Latkes are yummy potato pancakes. And tonight we must light the first Hanukkah candle. On the mantel over the fireplace stood a beautiful silver menorah with 2 figures of bold lions holding the 10 commandments. You see it? That's his menorah. My grandfather made this wonderful menorah, Misha said to Mazel. I have no money for candles, so I don't know how we'll light them, but Hanukkah is a time for hope. That's him with his grandfather. Suddenly, Misha had an idea. I may not have candles, he said to Mazel, but I am an artist, and an artist has paint. Misha took a fresh canvas and stood it on his easel. He dabbed his brush in the paint and made a bold stroke on the canvas. As Mazel watched, Misha painted a beautiful large menorah just like the one that stood on the mantel. And then he painted all the candles, including the shamash, which is the candle you light every candle with. Now we are ready for Hanukkah. At sundown, when it was time to light the first Hanukkah candle, Misha sang the blessing as he painted 1 flame on the shamash and another flame on the first candle. Then he sat down to eat his latkes. He put 1 latke into Mazel's dish. Mazel gave a meow of approval and licked her whiskers. Oh, do you see their yummy latkes that they're having? The next night, when Misha went to the easel to draw the next candle flame, he saw how little paint he had left. We will have to make these paints last as long as we can, Mazel. By the 4th night of Hanukkah, Misha had run out of yellow paint, so he made do with a little blue, a little orange, and a little red. On the 8th night, Misha sang the blessing and used the last drops of paint to make the final flame. Do you see his flames? The next afternoon, there was a knock at the door. Through the open window, Misha could see a horse and a wagon of a peddler. He opened the door to greet a small man with a big smile. Shalom, shalom, the man said cheerfully. I'm Meyer the merchant, and I sell many things. Perhaps I have something you would like to buy. I would love to see what you have, said Misha, but I have no money to buy your goods. Well, perhaps you have something you can trade then, suggested Meyer, peeking around the door. Misha smiled. I am an artist, and an artist has paintings. He led Meyer inside and showed him his paintings. Meyer looked at scenes from Misha's childhood and paintings of Jewish holidays and weddings. A portrait of a little cat caught his eye. These are wonderful. Look at all of Misha's paintings. heard a loud meow as a cat scampered toward them, purring loudly. "Goldie? Is it really you?" exclaimed Meyer, scooping Mazel into his arms. "Goldie?" Misha looked from Mazel to Meyer. "Yes, I have had her since she was a tiny kitten," said Meyer. "A few nights ago, when I was asleep, she must have jumped out of the wagon. I have been looking for her." "So that means Mazel is Goldie?" cried Misha. Meyer looked confused. "Mazel?" "I found her in my barn one morning," Misha explained. "She was very weak, so I took her in and cared for her. She was lucky to find my barn, and I was lucky to find her." "Yes, now I see why you named her Mazel," said Meyer. "She certainly was lucky." Misha tried to smile. Mazel had become his good friend, but now he realized that she would have to go back to her owner. Meyer turned to the paintings. "You have quite a collection here," he said. "I especially like that wonderful menorah painting on the easel. I know many people who would be interested in buying paintings like these. Would you be interested in selling them to me?" "Of course," said Misha. He helped Meyer load the paintings into his wagon. "You know," Meyer said, "I'm on the road a lot, and I wonder if you could do me a small favor. Could you take care of Mazel, for me?" A broad smile appeared on Misha's face. "That is not a favor," he said. "That is a gift." Mazel weaved back and forth between Misha's and Meyer's legs, purring happily. Meyer climbed up on his wagon. He waved to Misha and Mazel as he drove slowly away. "I'll be back," he shouted. "Happy Hanukkah to both of you." And look, that's the end. And they got to celebrate Hanukkah together, and his paints lasted just like the oil lasted for the menorah all those thousands of years ago. Happy Hanukkah.